All right. Wait, who said my name? Oh, thanks. Appreciate that. What's up, guys? I'm Caleb. I'm emceeing this weekend. Who downloaded or who scanned the QR code? Who's doing the trivia? We got some trivia people. Okay, I got some call-outs to do. In third place right now, where's Stacy? Stacy Raz. Stacy, you know your people. You know your stuff, Stacy. That's awesome. Where are you from? Michigan. What part of Michigan? Where? Brookfield? Bloomfield. Oh, yeah, I know Bloomfield. Okay, cool. Oh, and Jason, are you her brother? Are you cheating off of her? You have almost the same score. You're cheating. Okay, all right, whatever you say, Jason. That's cool, that's cool. Where's Tyler Miller? Tyler, my guy, second place. You know your panelists. All right. Oh, someone else was playing for you? Okay, sure. Yeah. Where's Hamdan? Hamdan? Is it Hamdan? Hamdan. Where are you from, Hamdan? From Long Island. Wow, really made the trek out here. How far is that drive? Where? Oh, train ride. I got you. That's what I love about New York. Who's traveled the furthest to be here? Anybody? So far, it's Staten Island. That's the one to beat, or Long Island. Where? Florida? Can we beat Florida? Where? Puerto Rico. Okay, that's a winner so far. I heard somebody say Oklahoma doesn't count. I'm sorry. I'm from Texas, so Oklahoma's like. It's really like a county, not really a state. Are you a Sooner? Oh my God. Do we have security in the building? Because that's unreal. Okay, if you haven't yet, guys, we're gonna get started in just a couple minutes, in about 3.5 minutes to be exact. But go ahead and scan this QR code, guys. Do the trivia. It's before every panel, so we're gonna have a good time. Who's ready to see your panelists? I'm sorry, that's not going to get them out here. They only feed off of energy. That's not going to get them out here. Who's ready to see our panelists? There we go. That's a little bit better. Hamdan's really ready. He's number one on the leaderboard. He's ready to get them out here for sure. All right, guys, just bear with us just a couple more minutes, okay?
Yo. I know. You guys came to see all these wonderful women, and the first thing we've done is try two dudes out here on the stage. But I'm Ryan Clark, and I have the amazing honor of introducing one of the hosts of this panel. And I know everybody's like, but we came to see Livvy and Paige and Alix, and we want to see Allison. We want to see all these wonderful women that are truly being empowering and taking sports to the next level for these beautiful females who are both talented, they're brilliant, right? They're ambitious. But before we start that, I want to introduce one of my really close friends. You've seen her on Bleacher Report. She's hosted some of the biggest interviews on Amazon Thursday Night Football. She's Emmy nominated. And not only that, she's just dope as hell. So without further ado, I want to bring to you Taylor Rooks, who is going to host this amazing panel of powerful women.
Right, yeah. Thank you. Please give it up for Ryan Clark, ladies and gentlemen. I am so happy to be here with you all. First off, I know it's early in the morning, so come on, give it up. Let's get the energy going. We have an amazing panel for you all today with this athletes to icons conversation. I have been looking forward to this since we first started discussing Fanatics Fest. The women that you are going to hear from today are such a necessary and vital part of sports and media. They generate ideas, they create content, they elevate the culture, they tell stories, they do everything. I'm sure some of them you all are already following on social media. One that I know for sure you all know is my co-host that I cannot wait to introduce to you all. Please give it up for the one and only Alix Earle. Oh my goodness, Alix, how lucky are we to be here talking to these ladies?
I mean, we have a good group of women out here today. This should be fun.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to give us some really good gems, some wisdom, tell us about their journey. So I think we should just get right to it.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. First up, give it up for Livvy Dunne. Woo!
Amazing. Next, we have Lala Anthony.
Yeah, Lala! Woo, woo!
Hey, hey.
All right, give it up as well for Paige Sporanic.
Next, we have Shelley Zalis.
Yeah, Shelley! All right, and last but certainly not least is Allison Kuch. One more time. You know, Livvy just looked at me and said Queens, and I think that says it best. Look at this panel, so much power, so many bosses. I'm so excited to get right into it. So, you know, Alix, as you know, every single person up here has forged their own career and own path in sports or media. So I want to ask all of you the moment that you knew you transcended your space, and I'm actually going to start with you, Alix. I would love to hear from my co-host.
Oh my gosh. The moment I transcended, I guess I would say when I started to show a lot of my personality online was a big thing for me. And then, you know, getting involved with sports through my boyfriend and all, and just going and supporting him has been really great. But I would say just getting out there and not being afraid to show your personality and differentiate yourself, because, you know, you can kind of get lost in with the crowd, and there's a lot of saturation on social media as well. So that really, I guess, did it for me.
And now you're one of the biggest faces online.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When did you know you transcended your space, Livvy?
Oh man, so I have always loved gymnastics, and I used to compete internationally for the USA, and I was homeschooled growing up because I was always in the gym training. And I think the moment it all changed for me was the pandemic, and all the gyms were closed, and I had to channel my focus and my discipline into something that wasn't gymnastics. So I just channeled it into social media, and it kind of just took off from there.
It certainly did. All right, now, Lala is one of my best friends, so I love that she is up here on this panel. She is just such a badass. You have been doing this a long time, of course, but when did you know that you were entering into a different realm?
I think for me, probably when I made the transition to hosting MTV, that's when I felt like, okay, this is different. I'm on television now. People are seeing me every single day, and I think that's when my career really changed and started elevating, and then from there, I just kind of kept going.
Yeah. Y'all remember those MTV days? Yeah. Paige, what about you?
So I think for me, it was more seeing it in person, because golf is such a male-dominated industry that sometimes you don't always get the opportunities. And so I would always go to the driving range and I'd look around and I would be like, no one really looks like me. And then one day I showed up and there were a bunch of women on the driving range in leggings and tank tops and things that I've been wearing when I was posting. And that was a moment where I'm like, golf is actually changing, and you might not see it at the top level yet, but it's working its way towards there. And that was a moment that was really cool for me.
I love that. Shelley, the female quotient does such important work in this space. When did you realize it was having a real impact?
Well, you're going to find that, first of all, I wish I looked like you too. But I'm sitting up here at this moment, and this is going to be so full circle, and I just had this epiphany, which is I'm 62 years old. Thank you. But in 1973 was when Billie Jean King played Bobby Riggs. I was 11 years old. And I won't forget that moment. And I was interviewing Billie Jean King, and I said to her, did you really think you would beat him? And she said, no, but she had to. And it was so remarkable because when I was a little girl, I was a tennis player. I wanted to be Chrissy Evert. And I wore those little skirts with the ruffled little panties, all different colors. But it was Billie Jean that I thought, God, she better beat him, because it was so important for women. And she said, no matter what, it didn't matter how I played the game, I was going to beat that guy for women all around the world. And then a couple of years ago, for Title IX, I was at the ESPYs during COVID, so there was very few of us in the front row. And this is Billie Jean King again, so full circle moment. And I have shivers sitting up here because the 50-year anniversary of Title IX celebrating equality. It was that shiver moment for me where I was so proud to be 50 years later, finally celebrating that monumental moment. And here we are today with the Olympics, and it was about gender equality with intentional action for change. And so I am so proud to be in the business of equality. And so, such a circular moment.
A round of applause for that.
Congrats.
Come on, Shelley. I love that. All right, and lastly for you, Allison, when did you know, okay, yeah, things are picking up?
Yeah, I've always loved sharing my life just in different forms of social media. And then when my husband was playing in the NFL, I decided to start peeling back the curtain of what that looks like, not only for him, but also for myself. And it wasn't until I started being transparent on social media that I saw such a need for the other side of sports. And it's such a male-dominated space, and you see things so public, like contract size, but nobody really talks about like the highs and then the lows. And I think so when I started to be transparent, I saw a huge need for that in the sports.
Yeah, and also creating a lot of those conversations on TikTok you were doing as well, because you all know this is some TikTok royalty up here, okay? Between all these ladies on the stage, it's over 20 million followers combined. So it's a lot of influence, a lot of power. So Paige, how have you been able to use sport as a way to connect to others?
Well, I wouldn't have the career that I have if I wasn't able to connect with other people. And it's been so incredible to see this journey. I've been doing social media now for almost 8 years, which is insane to think about, because when I first started doing this, there really wasn't this big movement, especially in sports, of influencers. And so I was really one of the first in the golf space to really do this. And at that time, too, social media was in a place where it was really only showing the highlights. And it was a highlight reel of your life and where are you traveling to, how great your relationship is. And I was trying to balance playing golf professionally as well as trying to make a living. I was using social media as a way to finance my golf career. And it was really challenging. It was hard, and I was struggling with having an audience for the first time and not being prepared, because no one, I'm sure everyone up here can relate to that, when you're thrown into this world of social media, no one prepares you for what it's like, and you also don't have a lot of people to talk to. And so we turn to you, and you are our family, our community, our people. And when I started to realize that it's not that I want you guys to see me in my best light at all times, I want you to know me on a very personal level. And that's the highs and the lows and the times where I feel anxious and I don't feel like I'm good enough and I don't feel like I'm worthy to be in this position. And sharing that was a time where I was like, I can really connect with so many people. And I have a strong male audience. It's 97% of my audience. And as a female, you're like, how can I relate to other men? And what I've come to realize is that I talk about these issues that I'm facing, like being maybe body shamed online and how that makes me feel. And you're like, oh, maybe that's only an issue that women face. No, I have so many men reach out to me and they say, I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel like my body looks the way that I want it to look. I'm getting this criticism. Maybe I'm not tall enough. Maybe I'm not this. Maybe I'm not that. And I realize, like, we're all more similar than we are unalike. So it's nice to be able to connect with so many different people and talk about these things with people that maybe you wouldn't realize that you would connect with. And so my community, my audience, they're my everything. They're my people now. And it's all about nurturing that community and being able to connect with them, because we're all going through very similar situations. And life is really, really hard. And it's nice to talk to other people and to have that connection through social media.
Definitely. I love that. And I think social media, it also lets you show people you're more than one thing. It lets them into your life. And you are the definition of a multi-hyphenate. You host, you're a journalist, you're a producer. I mean, you do everything. A philanthropist, an entrepreneur. She does it all.
Thank you.
And one of the great things about you is that you always bet on yourself. How have you been so successful in reinventing your goals and reinventing what you want to do throughout your life?
I think for me, it was just I've never allowed anyone to put me in a box. Like, there was a time when I first started my career, if you were a TV host, that's all you did. If you were a radio host, that's all you did. If you you just only did that one thing. People weren't open to the idea of someone doing a bunch of different things, and not only doing a bunch of different things, but being good at a bunch of different things. And I just kept saying, like, I'm gonna break that mold. I'm not just gonna be a TV host and nothing more. And I just continued to work really hard at it and take each aspect of my career very seriously, and just show that when you put the work in, you can be successful at many different things. And now we live in a world where everyone's doing everything. No one does just one thing anymore. Everyone has brands, everyone has products, everyone, does a million different things. And it's great to see, because why not? It's about taking over, so why not?
Yes. So speaking of doing many different things, we have Livvy, who's an athlete, an influencer, a student. And in the trailer for your upcoming docuseries, you said that the NIL rule change kind of changed your life in a lot of ways. What was that like for you?
Oh man, NIL has made my life crazy for the better. I just think that it's such an amazing change, and it's definitely made my time at LSU a little more difficult, because I need to compartmentalize things. It's not only just about gymnastics anymore, it's balancing social media, working with different brands, being a successful student, doing well in the gym. So I think just compartmentalizing my life has been super important, but NIL has been one of the biggest blessings in my life.
And you know what, Livvy? So you and I have the same marketing agent, Ira. So I know that your life is crazy now. But what I love about what you have been able to do is you show that you can love social media, you can love beauty and fun, and still be a part of getting the first gymnastics title for LSU. Woo-hoo! You can do all those things. So how have you experienced being put into a box, and how do you fight that?
Yeah, definitely. Like you were saying, before I went to LSU, it was, you have to pick one thing. So you couldn't work with the brands that you love. So before I went to LSU and my whole freshman year, I couldn't make a penny. I couldn't take a free sweatshirt. I couldn't take a free leotard. Like, the rules were so different. And when that rule changed and NIL came about, I quickly realized that I could be successful in all areas, be a successful student, gymnast, social media influencer, and that I didn't want to be put in one box. And I feel like that's an unprecedented thing, and no one had done it. So I'm kind of just going with the wind, and I'm kind of just leading the way in that. So it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. And if there's anything that people on the stage show you is that there is no box at all. What do you say about us doing some rapid fire with the ladies before we finish?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. So, Allison, I'm starting with you every time, and then we're just gonna go down the line. Okay. Alrighty? Okay. Name a public-facing woman that inspires you.
Simone Biles.
Yeah. Shelley?
God, I have so many. I mean, Serena Williams. Oh, did I take that?
That was
Should I take it
definitely
back and you can have another one?
Mine. I'll go with Nelly Corda.
I'll go with Mrs. Michelle Obama, the GOAT.
I'm gonna have to go with Nastia Lukin. She has been a mentor in my life, and she's just an amazing person all around.
Amazing. Okay, back to you, Allison. Best piece of advice a woman has given you personally?
To not listen to all the negative noise and to just focus on what you're doing, because no one's going to criticize you that's like higher than you and where you want to be. So the people below you can criticize you, but the people who are up are going to raise you up.
Good one. Sarah Jessica Parker, even though she says I can't attribute it to her, but I love her. Trying to be a man is a waste of a woman.
Say that one more time, Shelley. That was good.
That's a good one. Trying to be a man is a waste of a woman. But we need men and women. Just saying.
The best advice I got was to respond back quickly. I think that sometimes you get lost in the shuffle of your life and your job and you feel overwhelmed, but if someone reaches out with an opportunity, even if you don't want to do it, you respond back as quickly as possible and you just take every opportunity that you get.
I think for me, someone told me to love yourself from the inside out. And it always stuck with me because I think we live in a world now that's just open to so much criticism and people always feeling like they're not enough. And it really starts with the work you have to do on yourself and loving yourself. And you really have to be rooted in that because this world and what we do will tear you apart enough. So definitely love yourself from the inside out.
I think the best advice I've got is from my mom. She's actually sitting right there.
Give it up for Mama Dunne.
She told me that you're more than your sport. And I really took that to heart. And I want all athletes to know that you are more than your sport. And that bad day in the gym doesn't define you.
That's great. All right, back to you, Allison. Sports team you hate.
I was like 0.
Really? You don't have a team you're like, I do not root for them? I'm anti. Like mine's the Patriots, but that's because I'm a Falcons fan. Yeah, no Patriots. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any NFL team because any could hire my husband at any point. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
You're smart.
Very smart. No NBA, no MLB, nothing?
I love all sports.
Oh, she loves everyone. What about you, Shelley?
Can I give another piece of advice instead? You know, I just eliminated the word empower because if you actually look up empower, it means someone gives you power. And we never say empowered men. Like, so why do we empower women? So I just want to say we are in power. We are not empowered. So wipe out the word empower. So
I like that. Okay.
So I don't hate on any sports teams. I love anyone that plays sports. I think it's great for all of us. It gives us power.
I'll answer this.
I was like, we're screwed.
I'm like, I have many.
So I was doing a lot of betting content, and so you had to, always root for one team and, go against another. And so when the Padres went on this really epic run a couple years ago, I went to San Diego State, and so we would always go to Padres games. No one was there. No one would ever show up, and we would go as college kids because they had, cheap beer nights. And when they went on this epic run, they were like on the streets and celebrating. I'm like, you guys are fake fans, because when we were not good for years, you never showed up, and the Padres fans came hard at me for that. And so ever since then, we've had some beef on social media.
See, I like it. This is sports. La, what about you? I know you got one.
I gotta be careful. My son is coming up in the game. I gotta be real careful. Sports teams. Well, you know what? When I remember, I did have an incident when Melo was playing the Dallas Mavericks, and I was like, I don't know if I like this team. I don't know if I like this place. But that was a while ago, so maybe I've forgiven them since then.
I love it. I think I might know your answer, but you go ahead. There's a team. Everyone at LSU can't lie.
Alabama.
There we go. Here, we'll do one more.
Okay. Allison, favorite sports media member?
Sports what?
Say that one more time.
Favorite sports media member?
Like favorite sports anchor, or sports host, or sports content creator?
Erin Andrews.
Love that. Erin is
Love
great.
her. She's a boss.
Renee Stubbs.
Great answer. I love Renee.
I mean, if we can't say Taylor, then I would say Dottie Pepper. She does commentating on course for golf, and she's incredible, and she holds her own among almost an entire male crew.
That's great.
I would say the one and only Taylor Rooks. There's nobody else to say.
I mean, that's
what are we even
unanimous.
talking about
That's
here?
unanimous.
People? What's going on here? But no, I'm giving you your flowers. Like what you've done and what you've brought to sports and your knowledge and just showing people that you're so much more than just a beautiful face. You're that as well, but you're so smart. We talk about everything: sports, life, relationships. And if you're single, she's good at like hooking you up with somebody too. She's good at that.
Now we're talking.
So like she could do it all, but top of the top, my favorite.
I love you, Lala.
I love you too.
What about you?
I think Erin Andrews. She's awesome.
She's great. I love that. Amazing.
Okay, we won't stress you out anymore with those rapid fire questions. But Shelley, back to you. You wrote a great piece for Fast Company last week about women in the Olympics. And what did the Olympics show you about what's possible with equal exposure?
You know, it's really quite remarkable because it's all about intentional action. And, I'm writing another piece right now, which is about Beyond the Eyeballs. And we have been measuring media with traditional KPIs for so long, and together had such great T-shirts, merchandising T-shirts, and they sold so much money around them, which is everyone's watching women in sports. And that T-shirt is true, but we need a new T-shirt, and they need the version 2, which is women are dominating women in sports. And we all know that with what's happening in the Olympics. And what we are seeing right now, and we need a new media model to measure what matters right now. And what we are seeing is, and you talked about this so brilliantly, Paige, a second ago, which is it's not just about the eyeballs and about traditional media. It's about everything that sports represents, to the relationships, to the purpose, to the passion, to the pride, to the impact that we are having, and the stories that we are telling, and what it is all about. And it's beyond the athleticism that we talked about. It is just about the magic and the fan engagement and the athlete engagement, the merchandising and social media measurement, and it's beyond linear television. What? And streaming. Everything that we need to be talking about. And so it's time to turn the model on its head. And Carly, who's in the audience, taught me something the other day that. I'm a researcher, so if anyone's taken a survey on the internet, sorry, not sorry, I'm the mother of that invention from before anyone was even online. And so, I'm a data geek, moving beyond the marketing funnel to a whole new loyalty loop, which is what we need to be thinking about today. It's a new day and age, and we can't look at status quo of what was, but what is and what the future is. Look at fan engagement. And this is the things that really are so incredibly important. And that's what my article was really about, is to start thinking about the opportunities, the potential, the future, and what we are bringing. And when we look at Team USA, thank you, women, because women brought more than half of the medals. Woo! To the table. And if we do not understand the power of women, the power of purchase, the power of play, the power of passion, the power of pride, I don't know what we're missing here. So time to re-examine what matters and treasure what matters.
And Shelley, you also do a lot of work with women leaders. And I've heard you talk about this as well, but what are some traditionally female traits that are actually what makes you successful?
We talk about the male, the female, but it's actually the masculine, the feminine. And, we call those soft skills. I don't call those soft skills. I call those the essential critical skills of leadership today. And the feminine, compassion, passion, emotion, collaboration, those are the feminine qualities. And those are the most essential skills of leadership today. And what we saw and what we see in everything, especially in women, and we saw that in the Olympics, with Jordan and Simone in their...
the podium.
In the podium. That was just the most beautiful act of kindness and gratitude and collaboration that I've ever seen. That's support, and that's friendship, and that wasn't just about play, and that's what we see, and we know that 94% of corporate leaders today have played on a team sport, right?
And speaking to the emotion of everything, Allison, you give people a real peek into your life and the NFL life, and what's it like bringing that humanity and personal touch to NFL media?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about when I came on social media was seeing the negative response to my emotions regarding my husband's career. My husband lost his job 2 weeks before I gave birth. That was a lot for me to deal with. And a lot of people haven't seen those emotions. And so, like you said, one of me as a woman being able to bring my emotions, but show the ups and downs throughout his career, and then show us coming out on top as a team. I think I am really proud of everything I've put out in social media regarding all of my emotions, and I know that my daughter one day will look up and be proud of her mom, despite everything I went through. And and I hope to pave the way for other women and even men to feel emotion in and around sports.
I love that.
Yes.
For sure. Paige, I would love to hear what you think about, other professional athletes sort of having this 2.0 career in golf. And do you have a favorite non-golfer, celebrity golfer?
I mean, there's so many. This is what's so fantastic about golf is that there are so many people who love the game. And when you meet someone for the first time, it's, do you like golf? And they go, yeah, and you automatically have that instant connection. And so it's been really interesting to see what has been happening in the golf world, where professional golf with the conversations around the PGA Tour and Liv, most people are actually starting to lose interest in that aspect of it, and they're turning more towards creators because they like to see them have fun. But another side of it is they're turning towards their favorite athletes who love golf. And so golf always has this issue of reaching a new demographic. But when you have someone like Steph Curry, who is incredible at what he does, and he then is also really good at golf, and he loves golf, and he's investing a lot of his time into golf, and he has these programs for kids to get into golf. And when you look at the entire state of golf as a whole, Steph Curry is actually doing more for the game of golf than most professional golfers. And he's getting new eyes into it. He's getting kids into the game, and it's incredible to see. And we have these matches with Tom Brady and Steph Curry and, all these different athletes coming together, and they're playing this game that we all love so much. And again, it's been fantastic for the growth of the game, but we're also it's hard to convert them into watching professional golf. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. But to have those amazing athletes be active on social media, showing how much they love golf, has been fantastic. But Steph Curry is such an amazing person and athlete. And for him to be so good at basketball and then to be so good at golf, it's beyond frustrating because it's like, how can you be that amazing at so many things in your life? But I think everyone in the golf community is just really thankful for everything that he does.
Definitely. Yeah, and he loves golf.
Loves golf.
Yeah. Speaking of amazing athletes, though, La, on top of everything, you are also a basketball mom to superstar Cayenne Anthony. Give it up for Cayenne, everybody.
Thank you.
The number one ranked player in New York class of 2025, so he's really that guy. When Cayenne makes it to the league, it might not be with New York. So how hard would it be for you to root against the Knicks?
Not that hard. I'm sorry, I'm going where my kid goes. Wherever my kid is at, that's who I'm rooting for. But I'm just so excited, being on this journey with him. It's different when it's your child. It's so different. Like, a lot of us up here have been or married to athletes or been married to athletes, but it's different when it's your kid. It's just a whole different ball game. So it feels like a brand new journey that I'm going on with him. He's entering his senior year now and deciding what college he's going to go to. So really exciting times for Cayenne.
Yell it out. Where do y'all want him to go? She's taking it all in, for sure. La, how has his perspective on stardom been shaped by your star and stardom he's seen in his life?
He's seen it his whole life, so he's used to it, but he's also an extremely humble kid. It's so funny. If there's 100 cameras over here, Cayenne wants to be over here. He's not into the spotlight or anything like that. And I look at him sometimes and I'm just like, wow, it's amazing how grounded he has been able to be through it all. Because I couldn't imagine growing up with parents that were in the spotlight, or like my dad and people wearing his jersey and people going crazy everywhere he goes. Like, I don't even know as a kid what that would feel like. And that was Cayenne's life growing up. But he's so calm and so humble and just like wants to do the work and just, be such a student of the game and all the extra stuff. He really just doesn't pay attention to it. So he's a good one that way.
Yeah, he's the sweetest. The moment of like being able to buy Cayenne's NBA jersey will be crazy.
Crazy. That's why I haven't changed my last name yet. I'm going to keep it around for a little while.
And going into college is a big moment, so...
It's a huge moment. I'm really excited for him.
Livvy, how do we make sure there's other Livvy Dunnes in the future and women student athletes that can capitalize off their name and abilities?
Yeah, like I said before, someone had to do it first. So nobody had done all of those things, student, athlete, influencer. But I actually started a fund at LSU, and it's to help female student athletes get more NIL deals, because it's hard to get in the NIL game. It's hard at first. You don't know how to dip your toes in. You don't know how to get started. So to be able to make a path for other female student athletes is so important, and it's just so unfair the way the money is distributed. With the collectives at LSU and other universities too. It mostly goes to the men's sports. So I need to give a little love for the women.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congrats.
I love
That's
that.
Livvy.
And that's great that you created that fund.
Livvy, I'm going to help you with that. So we want to
Amazing.
spread that to more universities.
Amazing.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Look at what happens at Fanatics Fest.
I love
That's amazing. You know, on that note, Shelley, I would love for you to tell the room, what can men in this room do to continue to support women, advocate for women? Because, as you said, it takes everybody.
Yeah. You know, first of all, I'm running another piece that is, I don't like when we use the word, I don't like language. We have to change the language. When we say male allies, I call them leadership allies or conscious leaders, because I don't think it's about gender. It's all of us. If you're in a position of power, use your power and pull people up, right? Because it's not about men, it's not about women, it's about all of us, right? And so all of us in the room can help each other. And I think that that's just really an important differentiator, because even in the workplace, it's not, if you say male allies, it's like, oh, I need Prince Charming to kiss me on the cheek and wake me up, right? No, we all can participate together. So everybody, if you are in a position of power to do something, use that and do something. Pay it forward and use your power to lift others up and pay it forward. And so I think that that's just really important. So that's what I think.
All right, to close out, I would like to just have everybody tell the audience what you're looking forward to in the next 5 years, both personally and professionally. We'll start with you, Allison.
Like, of course, we're going to start with me. Thank you. I think I'm looking forward to continuing to support my husband's career, but also having him support my career. I'm coming out with season 2 of my podcast, Sunday Sports Club, which is a woman-hosted podcast all about sports, and I'm excited to see that take #1 on the charts.
Woo! Which, by the way, the podcast is amazing. Last year, when I was getting into the football realm, and I was literally watching it, I was like, all right, we're learning. She's a great teacher.
Listen in.
I like that. I love how your husband also says he's your partner. I mean, I think that
It takes a special kind of man to do what he does.
it's awesome. I love the profile. It's amazing. So I just have to point that out. I am going to flip it in 5. So that's what it's about. Change the equation, close the gap. And I am holding CEOs accountable for doing that, because I think it starts at the top and push it down. I have a lot of access in Fortune 500 companies, and I think it will take companies. I'm not waiting for government. That takes too long. So I think it will happen private sector, and I have the largest global community of power women in business across 30 industries, 100 countries. So that's power of the pack. A woman alone has power. Collectively, we have impact. And so I think that that can make a really big difference. And I think it is at the CEO level to really take responsibility and accountability. And when I talked about Title IX, according to the World Economic Forum, they said it'll take 131 years to close the gender gap. Where will you be in 131 years? That's bullshit. So you just got to call out the bullshit and say, you know, we created the internet in 25 years, ChatGPT in 2 weeks. We created a vaccine in 1 year, and we sent men to the moon. Should have been women if we had spacesuits. We can close the gender gap, which was human-made. We can actually fix it. That's what we're going to do.
Definitely.
I think this question is always really difficult for digital content creators, because social media is still kind of the wild, wild west, where you don't know what is going to happen in 5 years, what platform is going to be relevant, where things are going to go. And so for me, it's creating a business that can withstand that is long lasting. And I think that with the brand that I have built too, that the commentary that I always get around it is, you know, as a woman, when you get older, that you're not desirable anymore and that you have no value to give. And so what does my career look like as I do get older and as I keep building it? And so I'm in a very interesting place where I'm trying to figure that out, especially in golf, because being, you know, a stuffy conservative sport and my brand what it is, it's just, you have to continue to keep pushing, and that's every single day. And so I don't know if that's one small little step, if that's 10 steps forward. Can I start finally running in the industry? And so it's always just trying to figure out one day as I keep going. And like I said, being on so many digital platforms, it's what's going to be relevant, what's going to happen next. And I think that's what makes this so exciting for all of us, is that there are so many opportunities out there in front of us. And I think, again, the commentary is always that once you're past a certain age, your career is kind of over and then you can't do anything else. And that is far from true. We have
Amen.
so
60's
many
the new 60.
opportunities and
Keep
so
going.
many things that we can do. It's just you have to like get out of your own mindset and you have to keep pushing, because again, it's like I'm 30 and people say, oh, your career is over, you're done, you know, you're expiring milk at this point. And then if you have a male who is 30 and maybe a different industry, it's like you have your entire life ahead of you to be successful. And so that's what I'm looking forward to, is seeing what I can build and what paths we can pave for other generations. And that's really exciting because, again, this is still a new industry for so many. And how can we work together to make that even better and to push boundaries and to maybe even create new businesses out of all of this, because it's never been done before.
I just want to tell you one thing. I've never been better at 60. When I was 30, I was that. At 60, you're that. It's a mindset. Yep. Age is a mindset. I just want y'all to know that.
I would say for me, being the mom of a high school athlete, I would love in the next 5 years just to help create more programs to really help high school and college athletes. I think so much is being thrown their way, and so many of them are just not prepared for everything that comes. You just get thrust into this world, and there's no preparation on how to handle contracts or the attention or your money, and you see so many people, you know, make bad decisions just because there are no resources and they're not taught the right way. So I would just love to see more programs geared towards teaching high school and college athletes how to handle all the pressures that come with what they're doing and being out there, mental health as well, and financial literacy for sure.
Sure, like giving them the tools. I love that, for sure. Livvy?
So, well, I know this upcoming year I'm going back to LSU for my 5th year, which I'm super excited about. Hopefully we can win another national championship. That would be amazing. I would love to stay in the NIL realm. I feel very passionately about it. And I love what you were saying about educating others that just get thrown into college with NIL and money. It's a lot to balance at first, for sure. I definitely want to do something in sports media within the next 5 years and hopefully spend some time in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. He's killing it, by the way. I mean, wow. I would love to hear from you. What are you looking forward to personally and professionally, Alix?
I mean, I guess in the next 5 years, I would love to start something of my own, a company of my own, and I think that's been a big part of what I post as well. I have a scholarship at the University of Miami, so, you know, hopefully being a good influence to women, that they can be an entrepreneur and they can, you know, be women in business and do whatever they want. And then, oh God, I don't even know. Like,
the world is yours,
Hopefully,
baby.
yeah.
I have loved doing this with you. I feel like
this was so fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Hearing from you all, I feel very empowered. You know, something that I don't think we should say anymore and that I have stopped saying is things like women in sports or women in media. Because when we describe it that way, we're making women feel as though they are like a nice addition to the space, as opposed to being very necessary and vital to the space. So I feel very blessed and lucky that I was up here with such necessary women in this space. Being around you all makes me want to go harder, absolutely. Please, so this was amazing. And I feel so
This was
lucky that I got to do it
amazing.
with you as well, Alex.
Yes, this was so fun. Thank you
Thank
guys.
One more time for these
Thank you.
necessary
Thank
ladies.
you.
Woo!
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. And thank